Yo, what's happening, people? It's Brett here from Bad Intentions Boxing, and I'm joined by undefeated German, Italian, English heavyweight boxer Christian Thun. Christian, how are you keeping, buddy?
Thank you very much. I'm very well. Thank you, Brett, for having me. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you very much. I'm not too bad. Let's get straight to it. 6-0, undefeated, and it looks like, has it been officially announced that your next bout is up against Lucas Brown?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct, right?
Obviously, for you, what are you expecting from that? In terms of who you've previously fought, it looks like a big step up on paper.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like it definitely is a big step up. And Lucas Brown. I mean, I've heard many people call him like bum and this and that. But look, I've been watching Lucas Brown for years, and I've been watching him not only as a potential future opponent. I've been watching it just, as a boxing fan. And we have to keep in mind that he's went to Chechnya, probably one of the most hostile places on earth, to defeat the local champion and get up from the floor and to knock the champion out. I mean, that does take some bollocks, as they say. It's not like an easy thing to do. And then, I've seen him beat Richard Towers for the Commonwealth, like a couple of years ago in Richard Towers' hometown. So he's definitely well up for it. He's a tough man, and he's a fighting man. So we expect nothing less than a tough fight. And I'm definitely ready for it.
Did you see his last outing against Paul Gallen?
Yeah, I saw that fight. I mean, to be honest, you cannot really say much about it. It was really, really short. It was, how can I say? I mean, he got caught, he says, behind the head or whatever, but it's heavyweights for you. You can get caught with anything really, really quick. And that's good night for you. So I don't really take that fight as a benchmark to rate Lucas Brown. I much rather rate Lucas Brown on previous victories that he's had, and that's what I rate him on. Of course, Father Time is catching up with Lucas Brown, and he definitely is the Lucas Brown of a few years ago. Still, nevertheless, we have to be cautious with him, and we're prepared for anything.
Really. You're also a man who sparred, both current world heavyweight champions at the moment.
Yeah. Right.
What do you make of the current predicament that we find ourselves in within heavyweight boxing?
Yeah, well, once again, it's complicated. There's so many TV networks and contracts and so many things going on that especially us, I would say, commoners would never really know what exactly happened there. It is what it is. Of course, it's a shame. I would have loved to see that fight happen. But to be honest, I'm also happy to see a Fury fight against Wilder for a third time, and I believe he's going to win that fight again. And to be honest, I'm not too keen on the Joshua Usyk fight, just because I mean, of course, Usyk is a master boxer and this and that, but I really do like to watch grudge matches. Like really, I'd love to watch until Joshua fight against Dillian Whyte, for example. This for me would be a great fight, a great rematch. I don't want to see Joshua fight Andy Ruiz again. Ruiz, I mean, of course, they had their first fight, which we all know what happened, and they had the rematch, which, of course, we also know what happened. And Ruiz then didn't really look good in his last fight, and, he got dropped by Arreola, who's, once again, I mean, definitely a strong, solid opponent, but not on Joshua's league, I would say. So, I'm not really too keen to watch that fight. I'd love to see Joshua fight against Dillian Whyte, to be honest, or maybe even Luis Ortiz will also be a good fight. But I would love to watch AJ White 2, big rematch, big UK local grudge match, live at Wembley, 80,000 people there. Hopefully, if if Boris Johnson allows it, and for me, I really like to watch fighters that I can, I love to see a good build up. Usyk doesn't speak English. Usyk, I mean, yeah, he does stutter 2 or 3 words around, but I like to see a good build. I like to see emotion. The Usyk fight just isn't selling me any emotion. Eddie Hearn, though, he's a really good salesman, so he might sell us the Usyk fight as well, really good. Which it's okay, but I like to watch really grudge matches. I want to watch entertainment. That's what I like.
How do you see Usyk faring against somebody like AJ? You know, taking nothing away from Alexander Usyk, but again, it's a big step up against one of the real heavy hitters. You know, a guy who holds 3 belts in the heavyweight division. Also,
yeah. I mean, Usyk, once again, he's definitely a masterclass boxer, and his entire career has pretty much been a highlight reel from day one. I mean, Olympic champion and whatnot, and at cruiserweight, he's done everything possible. So he definitely is, you know, a master ring general, as you might call him. However, we've watched him fight against Witherspoon as a heavyweight, and he didn't really look too good, to be honest, in that fight. And then we've seen him fight against Derek Chisora, and he was complaining in that fight more than my girlfriend complains. And, you know, I'm not really and trust me, she complains a lot, bless her. No, I mean, you know, Chisora's going to rough you up for sure. You know, Chisora's going to be brutal and rough, but, you know, he was complaining to the ref, and that's heavyweight boxing for you. And if you end up fighting a guy like Anthony Joshua or like Tyson Fury or any other heavyweight, you're going to have big men, you know, like really wanting to rough you up. They're going to make it physical. And I think that he still has a lot of development to do in the, in the heavyweight scene before he can have this fight. On the other hand, you know, fair play to him. He's a good boxer. He moves well. He can also punch a bit because he did get Chisora's respect, and Chisora doesn't really respect many people in the ring, power-wise. So, you know, fair play to him. But I just want to see a big local UK grudge match, you know, Dana White against AJ, you know, a rematch. The first fight was good. Second fight is going to be great.
I think you've made a fair point there, and it also touches on as well, with all these belts that are currently around the heavyweight division, you know, I think the WBA have got, what, 4 or 5? We're almost at that point now with the hold-up that we're experiencing with Fury Wilder, Joshua Usyk. Is it happening? Is it not happening? You as an active fighter that's actually in that heavyweight scene, do you see this as a little bit of a roadblock towards everybody leading towards literally 2 fighters?
Yes and no. Now I'm obviously not in the realm of world title contendership. However, of course, it does delay the entire process of other people which are in line to get the shot. Once again, yeah, it definitely is kind of frustrating, but it is what it is, really. You know, I have to continue and focus on my journey, and I can climb the ladder. Meanwhile, they sort their affairs out. You know, I still can fight. I still can get my experience in, my fights in, etc. So it is indirectly, to some extent, blocking me, but then it isn't, because I can still proceed with my career. I would be way more frustrated if I'd be Dillian White, say. You know, I mean, Dillian White, he might get the shot against Joshua, but he might not. And if he doesn't, he's probably going to say, probably for 2 years, I'm not going to fight for a world title. And, you know, he's been mandatory for, I don't know what belt, I think the WBC and whatnot, but he's been mandatory since, like, years, you know, and it's ridiculous. You know, first you had the Wilder mandatory position for the WBC, but this, of course, didn't happen. Then, you know, then Wilder had that unfair draw against Fury, which Fury won the fight. Then they had the rematch where Wilder lost, and they had all this time wasting with arbitration and Joshua fight, and now this thing isn't happening. And now he's fighting Wilder. I mean, I'd be really frustrated if I'd be one of those guys, you know. That are pretty much mandatory or like in reach of a world title, but they just cannot get hold of it just because of this boxing politics, you know. And you know, every fight that White takes, for example, I mean, we've seen it in his last outing, and well, not his last outing, but in the fight which he had in August when he got when he had the tough defeat against Povetkin. I mean, yeah, he did come back, but once again, that also kind of stalled the entire thing, and means a nightmare the position he finds himself in. Although, you know, still, you know, he's still fighting. You know, he's always fighting the best out there. Massive credit to him. He, you know, he's overcome all the challenges. Of course, he's making, you know, like good amount of money as well, and he's active and this and that. But still, you know, I'm sure that he wants to fight for a world title. And if this Joshua thing doesn't pull through for him right now, he probably isn't fighting for a world title for the next 18 months. And, you know, another 18 months on top of this 2.5 years, probably. That's frustrating.
But we're talking about 18 months there now. Where does and how does Christian navigate his way through to join up to that ladder?
Okay, so, I mean, we have this, of course, tough test against Lucas Brown now, which I'm really looking forward to. And, you know, I'm pretty confident that we're going to be successful in this fight, although I expect a tough night's work at the office. You know, then there are quite a few other names out there which I would love to fight. You know, I like to slowly but surely climb my way up and you know, fight, you know, I mean, once again, ideally, I love to fight against AJ at Wembley in front of 80,000 people for $75 million, but that's not how boxing works, you know. So I've got to slowly but surely, we've got to make the right decisions, fight the right people, fight, you know. And I think in 18 months, I should be 10-0. I will be 10-0, maybe 11-0. And, you know, we'll be further along the development line, both physically, mentally, boxing-wise, everything. It's all about continuously really improving and yeah, climbing up the or rather strategically making the right decisions.
We're definitely at a stage at the moment where we're seeing a lot of boxers that are coming through, especially from the UK. Is there the potential that we'll see you fighting over on these shores?
I would absolutely love to fight in the UK. You know, the British boxing fans are probably the best fans in the world, and I've always said that. Every time that I watch a UK fight, especially, you know, I mean, I grew up in East London. I was in quite a few fights in York Hall, you know, at the O2 Arena. I've been there live. I've seen it, you know, and you know, I would absolutely love to fight in the UK in any of the big shows. You know, it would be a dream come true. Of course, the UK also has quite a few heavyweight names that you know are really talented and strong, and I don't mind to mix it up with any of those further down the line.
No, that's great, you know, and obviously you're striking with this air of confidence. As we said, you've recently been involved with the Tyson Fury camp. You've previously sparred AJ. You've been compared to Vladimir Klitschko, you know, so there's definitely a good buzz around you and the camps that you've been involved with. On a passing shot, before we finish, Lucas Brown, date, time and venue, and where can we watch it?
Okay, it's funny because we were just discussing all about this. So we are essentially in negotiation with quite a few broadcasters now. So more news are going to follow probably in the next week to 10 days. It's definitely going to be broadcasted on some major international channel. Please give us another maybe week or 10 days to organize this, and then I shall inform you and of course the boxing community. I think it's a really exciting fight, actually. Like, of course, I have front row seats, as they say, because I'm fighting myself. But as a boxing fan, I would love to watch the fight. And to be honest, this is pay-per-view material. This should have a pay-per-view pre-sale. This you know, it's a great fight. It truly is. I mean, I'd rather watch myself fight Brown than Joshua against Ruiz for a third time. Honestly. Sometimes, I mean, of course, being a heavyweight, I watch sometimes. I watch the other prospects fight against, you know, like have like their little step up. I'm so excited for the fight. I'm so excited to see. I don't know. I was so excited to see, for example, my friend Nick Webb fight against my former German teammate Eric Pfeiffer. And you know, Nick Webb has had a tough career. You know, he's had a couple losses, and you know, and then he came back knocking out double Olympian, amateur APB world champion. You know, he knocked him out in second round by completely destroying him. You know, this fight for me, I was buzzing. I was so excited for my friend, my pal, Nick Webb, and it's so good to see those you know, heavyweight clashes at domestic European level. You know, it's truly exciting.
It's definitely, and you're well around the mix. You know, you've clearly got a lot of links. You've established yourself already, and you're well known within that heavyweight game. So it can only mean everything to success. Before we go, I'd like obviously the opportunity to, when the fight is announced, that we'll have another check-in again and we can do a little bit of build-up this end on it as well.
Yeah, bro, absolutely. You can call me or send me a message anytime. It'll be my pleasure to come on here again with you.
Christian, you're an absolute diamond. Thank you ever so much for your time, and I wish you nothing but success for the future.
Thank you, bro. Take care. Have a good weekend ahead. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.